Hey there, my friends. It's me, Ro. If you haven't been here before, thanks for stopping in. And for those of you who have been before, welcome back. Welcome, everyone. I'm here this morning for my weigh-in. I am giving you a weigh-in because that's what you do when you go to the studio and you have at a WW meeting. So, especially in maintenance, trying to get to lifetime. Very important that I weigh in. So I'm 132. Up from last week, but you know what? Given the kind of weather we've had here where I live in New York this week, I'm really not surprised that I feel inflamed, puffy, and that's probably due to water retention because when it gets really hot, I tend to retain water more easily. Not so much how much salt I ate. Probably didn't have enough. I should be having some pink salt in my water, but in any event, not to worry. So 132 for this week on the weigh-in, and now let's get on to what the meeting was about. I should make a disclaimer before I get started on this. I am simply a member of Weight Watchers, a paying member at this point in time. I am not an employee, nor have I ever been, and whatever I'm sharing with you today is simply my interpretation of what was discussed in the weekly meeting. So we're still on flexibility. The more flexible in life that we are, I guess the happier and easier things become for us. I know for myself that the more flexible I can be, the better off I feel in general. So, be that as it may be, excuse me, we talked about movement. And what does exercise mean to you? I don't personally care for the word exercise at all because to me, exercise is negative for me personally. I don't like exercise. I am not a gym person, never have been. I find it painful. Even when I didn't have reasons for it to be painful, it was painful to me. Walking to me is not exercise, although it is a form of exercise. Getting in my steps every day is therapeutic to me because I totally enjoy it, especially if I'm outdoors. But even if I'm not outdoors, even if I'm just listening to a TV show as I'm walking around my living room, it is kind of like a different headspace for me. It's not the same as me sitting and watching a show. It is more a release of stress, maybe. That's how I feel about it. And like the foods that I eat, it's important to me to be moving in a way that, first of all, is not painful, that I can actually do, and that I find enjoyable. Because more than ever in my life before, if it's not enjoyable, I'm just simply not doing it. I may think I might be doing it. I might tell you I'm going to try to do it, but I know that is going to happen. So, flexibility in doing maybe another type of movement. I guess more for someone who's not happy with the type of movement that they've been trying so far. Maybe being a little more flexible and trying something different. Maybe doing some yoga. Maybe using the Obey fitness app, OBEY, which is in the WW app. Also, I've looked in MyFitnessPal. They have exercise routines in that app as well. I haven't looked at Lose It, but most apps have something that they offer. It's probably through a paid membership, but where you can go and find exercise routines. Now, if you can't do that, another great way to do it is just go to YouTube. We have Leslie Sansone, who does walking. We have Get Fit with Rick, who I find extremely great to work with because he plays all the music that I like. And that's something for me that if I'm going to do a routine, I need to be actually listening to real music, not like music that you hear in an elevator, for lack of a better way to describe it. So you can look up any kind of music. There's another woman whose name is not coming to me. She's in British Columbia, I believe, or Vancouver. And she also does real music, any kind of genre that you enjoy. And she does her walking routines to that. So maybe find yoga on YouTube. There's so many things that are actually free out there that we could access. And so the discussion also led into, if we're not liking what we're doing or we're getting bored with it, that maybe we should be more flexible in our attitude and go look into something different. Also, stretching was talked about. We talked a lot about how animals stretch, particularly dogs. And I guess a couple of yoga moves. I don't do yoga because I can't, but involve the dog, how the dog gets up from napping. And I mean, my cats do the same. Actually, even I've seen rodents do it. Pretty much any animal wakes up and stretches, any mammal. Not sure about fish and reptiles, but I know that there's a reason for that. It's not something they have to think about. They've been doing it since they started moving as infants. And that's something to take note of, because they wake up and they stretch before they walk. So, talking about stretching being good for increased range of motion and your body being more flexible and better balanced. I don't know about anybody else out there, but since I had that blasted virus, I have sometimes, not so much anymore, equilibrium type issues where I feel like I don't feel dizzy. I just feel like I'm off step. I'll be walking along and all of a sudden, like, it's a weird kind of thing. So, as we get older, people do develop balance issues, especially if you're not one that moves a lot. So they talked about that. We talked about that. There are videos in Obey, and again, I'm sure they're on YouTube in general, if you want to look that up, where you just do 5-minute stretching. If you don't know how to do that, or what the best way to do that, the safe way to do that, that you go and seek out anything that's free to inform yourself and maybe try it. Think about trying it. We also talked about an action plan. I personally don't do an action plan, but when you do your weigh-in, it asks you all sorts of questions. How did the week go? What did you think you might want? I'm ad-libbing this completely. It's not what it really says. But to give you the gist of it, if you're not on Weight Watchers or using the app, you know, how did the week go? What do you think you could have done better? What do you want to do for next week, kind of thing. And these are good things to think about, to spend a few minutes thinking about how the week went and maybe what we could do better for this coming week. We could try to do better. Sometimes things are not in our control. If you had a really busy week and things crashed, oh well. You know, the most important thing to me, and I say this all the time in the group as well as in my videos, is that we regroup. We put behind us what's behind us and forget about it, because dwelling on it does not bring good things for me. I know. I don't think it brings good things for anyone, because dwelling and feeling guilty and all that, that is not good stuff. Okay? Negativity breeds negativity in my book. So, in our action plan, even if it's a mental one and you don't write it down, although some people like to write things down, I think it's an affirmation when I write something down, or plug it into the app, let's say. But, you know, I didn't move enough this week. This has been a recurring theme for me. There's no reason why. It's not because of the heat. I'm just slacking off. Is it a big deal? No, but it is a big deal to me, because I feel the need to do that. I know it's healthy for me. I feel better when I do. And it's part of my way of taking care of myself at this point. So, my action plan this week will be involving hopefully more movement. And also, I don't know how you're feeling in this heat. If you're feeling like you're not looking for the foods that you might have planned to eat because it's too hot, you don't feel like cooking, that would be something to maybe think about a day or so in advance. Like, what kinds of things do I have in the fridge that are cooling foods, that are not things I have to heat up necessarily. Even if you mix it in your meals, like you have one hot meal and maybe breakfast is cool and snacks are cool, kind of thing. Salad for lunch, I don't know. But that's something that I definitely will be thinking about, because I'm really not feeling it. And this heat is not breaking. So that's it for today. It's very short and sweet. I hope it was short and sweet for you. And then we talked about STAR, specific, truly doable, and relevant. In what your goal should be about. Very specific goal, and that you can actually accomplish it within reason, and that it's relevant to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. If it's relevant to your health or your overall health, or something relevant to your weight loss goal, specific to, let's say, planning your breakfast out for 4 days or something, that type of thing. If you need to do that, that could be your goal, and that's very specific and obviously relevant to your health and your weight loss journey. So that's it for today on the weigh-in. I'm good with everything. And so far as the meeting was enjoyable to me, I was with people that I know fairly well, not personally, but I know them through Weight Watchers. And I love my coach, Michelle. And we were talking about being part of a tribe. That's really why, I went back to Make Lifetime, but it is nice to be part of a tribe. Once you get to know people, everybody's very sensitive to each other's needs, in tune to each other, and very supportive. It's a real safe place to talk about maybe some things that, I can talk about anything with Jim. But then again, there's certain things Jim will listen to anything that I want to talk about attentively. But is he really going to be, in some cases, understanding? He tries to be understanding, but not in the same way like if I talk to Terry. That kind of thing. And if you don't have a Terry in your life, a healthy journey partner. Terry and I have been healthy journey partners since the early 90s. That's a long time. But if you don't have that in your life and you're someone that would be comfortable, you don't have to talk in the group. You can just sit there in silence. You can answer, you can ask questions. You can do it in the chat. This is a virtual meeting, that I attended this morning. In addition to the weigh-in that I did at home. I may not have mentioned that. I'm not sure if I made that clear. I did weigh in at home because I wanted to be at this morning's meeting, and I made Sundays my day to start the week. So anyway, on that note, thank you all for watching. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. I hope that there are some things in them that you might find helpful. If you think somebody else might find the videos helpful, if you want to share, that would be very nice of you. If you haven't subscribed, it would be great if you did. Somehow it spreads the video out there somewhere in YouTube land so other people can know it exists. And to my subscribers, thank you all very much. And I will look forward to making another video for you soon, and I will see you then. Bye now.